is professor in the Department of Management, Mizoram University, Aizawl. He is very active researcher and completed so many projects, had written 6 books and more than hundreds of papers in the reputed journal. And he is actively engaged in the Indian Commerce Association also. Professor Nixon is very dynamic and well-known academician. Now I would like to request Professor E. Nixon sir to deliver his speech. Professor Nixon sir.
Good morning, everybody. It is my pleasure to be participating in this FDP program being sponsored by AICTE. My scholar Premendra Kumar Singh will be helping in screen sharing my PPT. Today's topic is on communication, introduction to management communication. So in this process of my presentation, participants can raise questions, supplements after the presentation. So today's topic being on communication, I also beg your pardon because this communication system I am having here, today it is a bit cloudy and raining here in Bodoland, that is in Kokrajhar. It is at the lower part of Assam. And I welcome all of you in today's topic on Introduction to Management Communication from Bodoland University. So communication, we all know communication. Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place, one person or group to another. From one place to another place, from one person to another person, or from one group to another. And the process of communication involves at least three things. There is a person, one sender of communication, and what he is going to send, that is the message, and a recipient of the message. So a communication is a transfer of knowledge or idea from one person to another person, and it involves at least 2 persons. One person who is known as the sender, what he is sending, it is a message, and a recipient. Next. There are several types of communication. One can say there are 2 types of communication. There is verbal communication, non-verbal communication. Somebody may say it has 2 types. There is upward communication, downward communication. Likewise, there are several types of communication. First, let us see the 5 types of communication. Number 1, it is verbal communication. What we are talking now, right now, in this FDP, I am giving the lecture. It is a verbal communication. And we engage in talking, in speaking. I am speaking, you are listening. So you will get the feedback. You may ask question. This is called verbal communication. Second one is non-verbal communication. In non-verbal communication, hello. In non-verbal communication, it involves not words. It is about a communication other than words. Another one is written communication, whether it is an email, a memo, a report, a Facebook post, a tweet, or a contract. These are called as written communication. And one of the most important, another one type of communication is listening. Listening is also one of the important part of communication. If we do not listen, then there will be no communication. And last but not the least is visual communication. So what I am presenting by way of verbal communication, you can also see by way of PPT. This is visual communication. You can hear as well as you can see my presentation. So these are 5 types of communication. Next. Another type of communication, it is the relating to present mode of communication, which you can see at present. There are 10 types of communication which is being used. Number 1, facial expression. Number 1 is facial expression. So when you look at a person, somebody is crying, somebody is laughing, somebody is smiling. This is also communication. When we are speaking over phone, using the video, you can see the facial expression. Number 2, gestures. This is body gestures. Suppose if you saw the finger, 5 fingers, it has another meaning. And in the picture, it is something the girl is saying like, you are very good or fantastic or beautiful, right? It is some way of communication using the gestures. Number 3. This is the sign which we use in everyday life. These signs are called hobo signs. Like camp is here, safe cab, here is the place, no one at home. These are some of the signs. It is a migratory worker who wanders from place to place without a home or a job. So these signs are also used for communication. Number 4, emoticons. When we use Facebook or in WhatsApp or in Instagram, we use a lot of pictures, small pictures. Suppose you are smiling, you are angry. This is also a sort of communication which we use very frequently nowadays. Number 5. Sign language, thumbs up, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, the hand, the palms. These are the sign language. This way, that way, come here, very good. These are all sign language. Number 6, music. Music is also used as a language, as a sort of communication. When you are angry, when you are happy, every emotions which we have in our life, it can be translated and it can be used as a sort of music. And music also plays as a means of communication. Number 7. There are so many languages in the world, like the Chinese, Mandarin, the Spanish, the English, Hindi, or Arabic. These languages are used as a sign of communication, as a medium of communication. So we can say this is also a type of communication. Number 8, English. Yes, now I am giving the presentation, I am giving the lecture, and I am using the medium of English. So English is also a type of communication which is spoken all over the world. Number 9, mathematics. A plus B is equal to A plus minus twice AB. These are some of the symbols which you use in mathematics, but actually it is also a sign of a type of communication. A square plus twice AB plus B square. These are some of the symbols which you use in mathematics and which is used as a type of communication. Number 10, last but not the least, programming language. In programming, in computer, 1, 0, 1, 0. These are the the language which is used for programming in computers. So it is also a type of communication which is understood by the computers. And through computers, we are doing a lot of activities. So these are 10 types of communications we have. Next. So after the types of communication, now we can see the C's, 9 C's of communication. What are the basic characteristics of a good communication? We can say there are 9 C's. What are the 9 C's? Number 1, a communication should be very clear. It should not be something like using a jargon or something which is not clear. If your communication is very clear, then you have a very good communication. Number 2, concise. Your communication should be short, concise. It need not be elaborating more. It should be very concise, clear and concise. Number 3, it should be to the point, concrete. You cannot be mixing up a lot many things. In order to become a good communication, it should be a concrete communication. Number 4, your communication should be a correct communication. You cannot base your communication on something which is false or incorrect. Of course, it should be coherent. Coherent means something which is good manner, something which is very correct, and which can be very clear to the recipient of the communication. Next, your communication should be complete. Incomplete communication can create a lot of problems to the recipient of the communication. So a good communication should be complete in all respects. And of course, it should be courteous, means it should be with manners, and someone who should be credible. Being a sender of communication, you should be credible so that the recipient considers the message good, complete, and correct. At the same time, there are several methods of creative communication. Nowadays, the 10 types of communication which I was elaborating, many of them are creative and being used nowadays. Instead of saying so many things, you can use a simple sign language like thumbs up, which you can say that it is very good communication. Next. I'm talking about 9 C's of communication because why? Because we need to improve productivity and maintaining strong working relations in the organization. Today, for example, I am taking this class, I am giving the lecture. Starting off it, there was a technical problem. That was the beginning of the lecture was not a good communication. So in order to have a good communication, in order to have a good lecture, why? Because in order to improve my lecture, in order to improve productivity and maintaining strong relationship, particularly in the organization, we need a good communication. At the same time, a good communication improves personal relationships by helping you to understand others and to be understood. I am sending the communication, you are listening. Why I want to send a communication? Because I am taking this lecture on communication in order to help you in understanding why you need a good communication. What is communication? What are the 9 C's of communication? Everything what I am doing now is in order to improve our relationship. I being the lecturer, or I am being the today giving you the lecture and you are listening. I want to convey the message of what is good communication and why we need good communication. So in order to improve my skill of giving lecture also, in order to convey the good message of good communication, we need to improve the quality of communication. At the same time, it helps in development of an organization. Say, for example, Mizoram University Management Department today is organizing the FDP, which is being sponsored by AICTE. So I am just helping my whole organization, that is Department of Management, Mizoram University. Likewise, by giving a good lecture or by giving a good communication, it helps in the development of the organization. At the same time, Good communication increase morale, productivity, and commitment of employees if they can communicate up and down in a company's communication chain. So this is why we need good communication. Next. In communication, there is a process, and this process is very important. On the left side, you will be seeing sender. I am the sender. Today's topic is on communication, and I am giving the lecture. I am the sender. What I am sending? I am sending the message. That is, what is the message? I am giving the lecture on communication. So the communication, the PPT, the presentation is the message, and it will be encoded. And I am using the medium of internet, the medium through Zoom, and the PPT, the lecture is being transmitted through the medium of internet. Hello? Prem, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. To the participant, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself, participants.
Yes, let us proceed. Okay, the medium which I was using is Zoom. And if you are listening at the other part, you are decoding the message, that is the PPT as well as my presentation. You are receiving the message, and then some of the participants are also speaking, saying that maybe the voice is not audible or the PPT is not seen, or maybe some of the participants are complimenting or giving some suggestion likewise. So it is being encoded, the feedback is being encoded, and you are sending the message of feedback, and that message you are sending that you are not listening or you are not visible, PPT is not visible, there I am also receiving as a feedback. So this is the process of communication. So every communication takes place through this message. Yes, next. When we talk about communication, there are definitely common barriers. There will be some problem to effective communication. These barriers stop or makes problem in sending the message from the sender to the recipient of the message. Say for example, I am speaking, I am sending you the communication, you are listening on the other part, so there will be maybe some barriers. Say suppose, one of the most common barriers is I am using a lot of formula. For example, the use of jargon. If I am using mathematical science tools, which there will be maybe a problem on the part of the recipient, then definitely there will be barriers to effective communication. At the same time, there may be emotional barriers and taboos. Say suppose if I talk something on taboos, which I should not speak, or sometimes you are not in a position to listen, you are not emotionally attached, there may be barriers. Say for example, at the same time, third barriers may be lack of attention, interest, distraction, or irrelevance to the receivers. For example, while giving this lecture, suppose my topic is not relevant to you, then you may not be, giving good attention, you may not be giving interest, or there may be several distractions also because I am not giving you a relevant topic. Then if it is so, then that will be a common barriers. At the same time, differences in perception and viewpoint. Suppose I am giving on a topic and I am having a different perception and you are having a different perception. So definitely that will create a barrier, a problem in effective communication. At the same time, physical disabilities such as hearing problem or speech difficulties. Suppose if I'm not able to speak properly, or if there is some problem in hearing also, this may create as a big problem to effective communication. Next. There are also several other barriers. For example, physical and physiological barriers, emotional and cultural noise. At the same time, language also plays as a barrier. Suppose now today I'm speaking English. If I speak Mizo, if I speak Assamese, those people, those attendees who are not able to know Hindi or Assamese, you will not understand. If I am speaking English and if you can understand English, then definitely there will be no barriers. Say at the same time, there may be a barriers of nothing or little in common. Today, you are listening to the topic on communication. We have a little, in common. If it is so, if there is nothing in common, or if there is no commonalities, then there will be creating a lot of barriers. Say, for example, now the problem with speaking online is that I cannot see you. I cannot see you whether you are listening properly or whether you are giving me, attention or not. If it is a classroom teaching, definitely I will be moving around while taking the class. I will see at your eyes, because when I keep an eye contact, definitely I will be knowing whether you are giving me any attention or not. But today I am not able to see whether you are giving me attention or not. This is a lack of eye contact. Definitely there may be some barriers to effective communication also. At the same time, if I give you a lot of information, and if there is a lack of focus, too many information also gives you a lot of barriers, right? At the same time, if I am not prepared, my presentation for today's topic on communication, I was preparing the PPT, I was preparing the, I was presenting myself alone. At the same time, I was being very much prepared. I'm worried, I am speaking from one part of the country, and then my attendees are spreading all over the country. Maybe if there is a problem in my, presentation, what people will think about me. So if I am not prepared, if I am lacking the credibility, definitely you will give the feedback to the organizers of today's FDP that Professor Singh was not giving a good lecture. If I'm not prepared, definitely that will create a barrier to effective communication. And at the same time, if I am talking too much, I'm taking care of this. If I'm talking too much, maybe you may be thinking that, oh, Sari is talking too much. So I should be limiting only to the point, clear, concise, correct, and credible. There's 9 C's of communication. We need to be very careful. Next. Yes, there are, the topic which I discussed just now is barriers of communication. There may be miscommunication also. And what are causes of miscommunication? Miscommunication means there is a missing gap between the sender and the receiver. Suppose in today's communication, I am the speaker, I am the lecturer who is giving talks on communication. So the following points may be the causes of miscommunication. Number 1, lack of context. If I am speaking on the topic communication, then it is okay. If I'm lacking in the context of communication, then definitely that will be a big cause of miscommunication. Number 2, assumptions. If I assume that all of you are listening properly, giving attention, Or suppose if I assume that you are just opening your computer, mobile, and not listening carefully, then that assumption of you not listening carefully will be a big cause of miscommunication. Number 3, if I speak on vagueness or ambiguity, if there is a missing link, or if there is some insincerity on my part, that I miss some point on communication, then that will be a big cause of miscommunication. At the same time, like too much talking, excess communication. Today, I have to give you a lecture on communication, and there is only a topic on introduction to communication. But if I keep on speaking a lot of theories of communication, problems with communication, this and that will create a lot of miscommunication, because it is an introduction to communication. At the same time, if I use a wrong medium or channel, for example, today's lecture, there is on FDP, we are using Zoom. We are not using Google Team, or we are not using like Yahoo class, for example. So suppose we are going to conduct a FDP class on Zoom, and if I choose Google Team, definitely there will be miscommunication, then there will be no class. And miscommunication is very costly. Today, the program is being organized by the Department of Management, Mizoram University. They are spending time, they are giving a lot of effort in order to make the FDP successful. And if there is miscommunication on my part, or on your part, or on the part of the organizers, definitely the FDP will be a failure. So definitely these causes of miscommunication should be, as far as possible, avoided, so that we can give a successful FDP program being sponsored by AICTE. Next. Yes, how to improve communication skills. Now it is coming to the practical part. We all know communication plays a big role in management. All must be having a good communication skill. If we are lacking in communication skills, then you are out of the track. You will not be considered as a good worker, or a good student, or a good teacher. So how to improve? How to improve our skills? Number 1, never beat around the bush. Means what? Come to the point. Come to be concise. Your communication should be concise, concrete, clear, less ambiguity. You should not use jargon. Never beat around the bush. Number 2, if you want to communicate properly, first very important skill is you need to listen, and listen. If you do not listen, then there will be no communication. There is a saying, some people used to listen to reply, but a good communicator, first of all, he will listen, and listen. A speaker never learns. If you want to learn, you have to listen. If you don't learn, you cannot be a good communicator. So most important thing in communication is you have to improve the skill of listen, and listen. Number 3, repeat what you have listened. You have to see what you have learned. You are listening all the time, and you have to repeat what you have learned. Oh, kya tha? Number 1 point, number 2 point, number 3 point. Likewise, you have to repeat back. Means you have to be assured that you have listened the correct words, the correct communication. Use body sign, gesture, non-verbal expressions. All the time, it is not necessary to use only the language, only the verbal expressions. Sometimes you need the body sign like this, beautiful, winning, V-word, victory, likewise. So use body sign. Just imagine, just see how our Honorable Prime Ministers used to speak. He speaks with a sign, with a language, with a body sign all the time. And if you compare our present Prime Minister and the former Prime Minister, you will see somebody is reading from a text, from a paper, and somebody is using his own skill, body sign, gesture, non-verbal expressions. And these are very important in order to improve your communication skills. Next point, respect by knowing your audience. You need to know the audience. The sorry part of today's lecture is, as I said before, I am not able to make an eye contact. This is my lacking in today's lecture. I need to make an eye contact with my audience. Never use phone while talking or listening. Suppose you are in a seminar, or you are in a classroom, or you are in a presentation board room. Never use phone while talking or listening. Be professional, be human, set examples. You need to respect first your audience. Suppose you are using your phone, texting while sitting. People will be looking at you, and it's very sure that you are not making a good, example. Next, choose the right medium for message. Right medium. Nowadays, it is the pandemic. It is the COVID-19 situation. You cannot have an eye-to-eye contact. Now, the only available option is through webinars, through online medium. And Department of Management, Mizoram University, has chosen the right medium of choosing Zoom for conducting the FDP. Yes, text smart. Nowadays, texting is very important. Even asking for leave, casual leave or many leaves, we are sending, message. So we need to text very smart. And we all understand how text smart means. Next, manage meetings smartly. Suppose you are managing a meeting, invite only the required people, keep scheduled time, starting and of course closing is very important. At the same time, the meeting should be productive. Be positive. Even when you are stressed, be calm but focus. Very important. When you are, when you are running a long meeting, suppose FDP, there are 3 lectures, 4 lectures. I am speaking for 1 hour, 1.5 hours. I am fresh. I am preparing for myself. But the other part, the recipient, the attendees, the participants, they will be sitting for 3 hours, 4 hours. They will be frustrated. Sometimes they are very stressed. But at the same time, the speakers should not speak more than the allotted time. So be positive. Yes, this is how to improve the communication skills. Next. 7 important communication skills for leaders. Suppose you want to be a leader. As I said, communication skills, first and the foremost important, listening. You need to compliment also. And it is very interesting. Now I'm making the presentations and some of the attendees, participants, they are sending messages, group message that it is a nice presentation, good morning to all. Likewise, complimenting is very important. Sometimes you compliment, and the good part is that from the other part, it is a good motivation. So listen, compliment. At the same time, you cannot do everything by yourself. Sometimes you need to delegate also. Delegate tasks clearly. Managing the meetings, positive. Be a positive communicator, whether it is in verbal communication or in non-verbal communication. At the same time, you need to stress management. It is very important. Nowadays, during this COVID lockdown also, there is a lot of stress in the management, stress among the students, stress among the teachers. We need to manage the stress. At the same time, we need to control our emotions by using intelligence. What is intelligence? Emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? It is the intelligence to know what others are thinking about me, what they are doing. How, just imagine in the other person's shoes, just to think about what they are doing, what they are thinking, whether the attendees are listening to me carefully or not. I have to imagine, I have to emotionally intelligent enough to understand the other part, whether if they are stressed, if they are listening carefully, all these things, these are the skills, important communication skills for all of us in order to become leaders in the organization, leaders in the social life, leaders even in the household, even in the house also. A father, a mother, a leader in the house. The leaders, of course, the father or fathers, mothers, uncles, those who are good in communication, automatically they lead the group, they lead the family. Next. Of course, when we talk about listening, I make it a point to give a little more emphasis on listening. When you listen, you receive. When you listen, you understand. And when you listen, you evaluate. And then after that, after evaluation, you respond. You respond by body language, you will respond by body sign, and then you remember. These are the stages of listening. That is why, as I said, the most important part of communication is to listen, listen, and listen. And what are the stages of listening? First, you receive, you understand, you evaluate, you respond, and then last but not the least, after listening, you remember. If you don't listen, what happens? If you don't listen, you don't receive, you don't understand, you don't evaluate, you don't respond, and last but not the least, you don't remember. This is very important. And if you don't remember, what will you communicate? How will you work in the organization? You need remembering. You need to remember the rules, the regulations, the methods, the process. So stages of listening is very important. Next. Yes. Coming to what in today's time. In today's time means nowadays it is a pandemic. It is the pandemic, and all of us are confined to our rooms, our house, our office. We are not able to communicate properly. The whole system of communication, like going and meeting, attending classes, or having a meeting somewhere, a seminar somewhere in Bangalore or in Delhi, there is no physical contact. Many of us, we are confined to houses. But we have to run the organization. We have to continue taking classes. We have to office. We have to go to office. So in this pandemic, what are the available software communication platforms during this pandemic? So the 10 best software communication platforms of 2020. 2020. Number 1, Demio. Number 2, Webinar Ninja. Number 3, Z-Webinar. Number 4, WebEx. Number 5, WebEx. Number 6, Get Response. Number 7, Click Meeting. Number 8, Live Stream. Number 9, Webinars on Air. Number 10, Zoom. Other than this, we have the platform of Google Meet, Yahoo Classrooms. Okay, but the 10 best software communication, and for our university, my present university, there is a Bodoland University, we conduct this communication platform through WebEx, number 5, this one, WebEx. Cisco WebEx, we use this one. And at present, This FDP program being organized by Department of Management, Mizoram University. We are using at number 10, Zoom. So these are 10 best software communication available during this pandemic, where we can, each of the softwares has their merits as well as demerits. Say, for example, Zoom, like 200 participants, and then WebEx, it depends on how much, what type of scheme or model you are using. It can go up to 1,000 participants or 2,000 participants. Likewise, these software communication platforms are very much available online. Some you have to pay, some you can use free. And without communication, as I said, without this platform, without this Zoom, today's class on communication, we cannot imagine also. You are around, I was told that you are around 200 participants attending in this FDP program. All of you are scattered all over the country. Many people are coming from Delhi, Bangalore, Guwahati, Shillong. Many are attending this FDP program. But without Zoom, without these software communication platforms, in this pandemic, we cannot imagine, we cannot meet also, right? So it is good that we are using Zoom, and I will say, a great congratulations to Management Department, Mizoram University, for conducting this program during this pandemic. During this pandemic, some of us are very much confined to our homes. Students, particularly, they are missing the chance of, going to classes, going to university institutes, but still, we are managing. We are managing using these softwares. Next. Prem, next.
Sir, I think
Finish.
Yeah, this was the last slide, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay. अमित जी 1 घंटा है या 1.5 घंटा है?
आपका 10 मिनट टाइम बचा है सर.
अच्छा अच्छा, तो अभी क्या कर सकते हैं, जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स वगैरह है, तो इफ दे वांट टू comment, if they want to say something or ask something, I think let us give some chance to all the participants. And I want to see, I want to talk to some of the participants. Please. Anybody who wants to say something on the topic?
Open कर सकते हैं. Yeah, some participants want to say something.
Yes, there is one, Sefali. I have a question. Yes, please. Yes, you can ask.
Yeah, Madam Sefali, please ask.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, good morning. I am Shefali from
Yes,
Sterling
yes.
Global University, Hisar. First of
Yes,
all,
yes.
I would like your presentation very much, and thanks to Amit sir to giving this
Yes.
beautiful opportunity to attend this FDP. Now, my
Yes,
question is 9 C's of communication. So, my question is from 9 C's
Yes,
of
yes.
communication. The first one is clear.
Yes.
The fifth one is coherent, and the seventh one is courteous. So, sir, can you
Yes.
elaborate these 3 things again with example? Hello.
Yes, I am coming to your
Hello.
point. I am coming. हाँ प्रेम.
yes, sir.
हेलो, वो थोड़ा वो स्लाइड जरा दिखा दो. 9 C's.
Yes, sir. The first one, fifth one, and seventh one, sir. Clear, coherent, and courteous.
Just a moment,
The
sir.
first one is clear,
Yes, sir.
right? Some of the communications, when it is not clear, say suppose I'm speaking to you, okay? If it is not clear, sometimes there may be, my communication is not clear. It should be direct, okay? And if it is not clear to you, suppose if you are not audible, right? Then the very concept of good communication will be missing,
Yes.
right? And the next one, which one is the next?
Next one is, sir, coherent. Fifth point.
Okay, it is a little bit similar with courteous.
Okay.
Okay, a little bit
Okay,
similar.
sir. It means
Yes,
we can take
with,
simultaneously
with
coherent and courteous.
yes, yes, with manner, good manner,
Coherent and courteous, sir.
courteous.
Yes.
With
Yes.
good manner. Suppose when I'm speaking, I
Yes, sir.
cannot use something word which is commanding type. Okay. If I am
Okay,
not
sir. Okay.
coherent, if I am not courteous, then you may feel like you will be losing your interest also if I'm using some ill-mannered words, right?
Yes, sir.
So it should be
Okay, sir.
courteous, right?
Okay.
Thank you. Next,
Okay, sir.
next question. If there is any questions,
Professor Singh,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
yeah,
okay.
Professor
Thank
Singh,
you.
am I audible?
Yes,
I
yes, yes.
Sir, sir,
question, sir. May
yeah,
I?
good morning, sir. This is Navneet Shukla from Bareilly, UP. Sir,
Sir.
very nice presentation. I really thanks to each and everyone. So
Question.
being a teacher of communication, I used to teach in B Pharma, a paper there is communication. Sir, I found that basically I am from East UP, which is from remote area, and
Okay.
currently I am teaching in West UP, which is like
Okay.
a
Okay.
small metropolitan cities. So, sir, I found that from the uh, base of village, I came from village area, I came from town area. Now I'm
Hmm.
teaching. I found that my accent is different than the real and original English words. So accent of that word is totally different because I was teased yell yum yan. So this is in my mind, and yes, sir. So
Yes.
then should it matter that I am teaching in my accent, or should it matter on the or any level, national level or international level platform? So, sir, sometimes I feel that I should change it, but this is really very difficult for me. So, should I work on it, or should I continue with as my accent is in my use or in my in my teaching, sir?
Sir, you need to comprehend and you need to practice. Okay. And if your communication is effective to your audience, if there is no problem with the audience of how you speak, definitely I don't think there will be any problem with that. Even if you use yem, yell, no problem with that. Only that there should be no problem with the audience. Because
So,
what is communication? Communication is a transfer of knowledge, idea from you to me, from me to you. If there is no problem with the recipient of the message, then definitely I think there will be a good communication.
sir, can I support?
Thank you.
Can I support your answer, Professor Professor
Yes,
Nixon?
please.
I am Dr.
Yes,
Sunnarayana
yes.
from Andhra. I can say basically all the countries, other countries follow their native language. But fortunate or unfortunate in India, we need to speak in English, and everybody has to
Yes.
learn at least 2 to 3 languages, Hindi, English, and
Yes.
their mother tongue.
Yes.
There is also research which has been done. teaching in other languages is a, I don't know whether I can make a statement of this kind. Teaching in other languages is a crime, basically. English people don't, majority of the students will not be able to follow English. So changing one's accent, I don't know how far it suits the student. But the important thing is listening is also very much important on the other side. I don't suggest to change their skill of changing the accent. Accent is there because everybody from different parts of the world has their own accent.
It differs from place to place. Yes.
Philippines speaks in a different way. American speaks in a different way. UK, they speak in a different way. When you go to Middle East, when you go to South Africa, people have their own language, but the accent is different. They cannot change. English is the medium where you speak, but they cannot change their accent. You, I'm supporting you. Like the question was asked, like they cannot change their accent. They have to. Other people have to accept and see how it works out.
Acceptance is very important.
Yes, yes. Sir.
The audience, what the audience is thinking. If they are listening, if they are understanding, then I don't think there is any problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We should proceed with that.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
I would
also like good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
Sapna from Santhar Dharam Institute
Yes.
of Management, Bhopal. Sir, first of all,
Yes.
thank you for the wonderful presentation. Sir, I have a very
Welcome.
simple question. Ki,
Yes,
sometimes, what kind of communication should be used with the children or, with the kids? Because sometimes, they behave, very rude or the stubborn in the public. So what kind of communication should be there? I mean, what kind of communication should be used at that time? Because they are, our kids, and we can't use, I mean, it is very confusing ki what kind of communication. I hope you understand
many
my
of us,
question, sir.
yes. Many of us have our kids. I have 3 kids. The same problem happens not only in the social life, but also in our personal life.
So true, sir. Yes, sir.
Many a time we use facial expression.
Yes,
without
sir,
giving any sound, without giving any sign. You use only your face emotions.
Okay.
So at the same time, body language, gestures, and then when you
Yes,
use
sir.
in social media,
Yes,
when
sir.
you give your comments, you use your emotions, emoticons, happy, angry, sad, crying, love.
Okay.
These are all the signs which you use. No need to scold also. You
Yes,
cannot
yes, sir.
scold your
Sometimes,
children.
yeah. Right.
Sometimes you need to show your angry face just for 1 second. Okay. Otherwise, if you scold your children and if your children reply in
Yes, sir.
angriness, that will create a lot of problem.
Yes, sir. Right.
So these are some of the skills as a parent, as a school teacher who is teaching school level students. We need to be very, and there lies the very importance of how to communicate effectively.
Thank you so
Audience,
much, sir.
we need to understand the audience, and audience also defines what sort of channel, what sort of language we should use. Thank you.
Thank you
It's a
so much, sir.
good
Thank
day.
you so much, sir.
I appreciate your participation and your comments, and I'm sure all the participants, the organizers, we had a good time in today's fine morning. Thank you once again.
Yeah, we can take one because
Yes.
other time will be there. Only one
Yes,
question
yes.
we can take.
Sir, I
Yes,
have
yes.
a question.
Yes,
Can I
please.
please go ahead with it?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the insightful PowerPoint presentation. It was an excellent presentation. Thanks a lot. And I am Rafia Vikar from Jamia Hamdard, New Delhi. We in our classes face a lot of problem. Like whenever we conduct a class, we usually have a bunch of students who are reluctant to learn. They don't want to learn anything. But at the same time, when nowadays we are not like having online face-to-face classes, we are having online classes. So during these online classes, how can we impart education to such kind of students? Because at the end of the day, we as teachers, we are answerable to each and everything. So I would like to ask you that please can you throw some light on this particular issue, because it becomes very difficult for us to conduct our class. Many a times the students, they create any kind of issue during the online lecture. They may play music, or they may share their screen and do any such kind of activity which is not acceptable. So how can we take charge of the particular situation and work upon it?
Madam, during this pandemic, we cannot imagine about physical classes. Of course, Government of India, as well as the government of the respective state governments, they are starting to open classes. From class 9 to class 12, the government has already started opening schools from yesterday.
Yes, yes.
But they are not going to conduct classes physically. They are opening the schools in order to have the students to clear their doubts.
Yes, definitely.
Just come to the college, come to the school, meet their teachers and clear their doubts. But no classes, no physical classes.
Yes, yes.
At the same time, in some of the universities, for example, in my university, nowadays we are conducting online exams. For colleges, from today, we are going to start offline exams, offline, for the 6th semester students. And for class, online class is the only option. I am not saying that this is the best option. Only thing is that we have no choice, no other solution other than online class. But the suggestion, if I have, and there is the only suggestion with me, we take classes, I speak, the students listen. But if I have to tell the truth, the best part should be the way round. Let us give the topic, let the students speak.
Okay.
For 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whole day, one topic, let the student make a presentation using PPT. Let him teach us.
All right.
Say, for example, today, a student called Abhay, he will speak, he will make presentation, 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Then next, Rita will speak, then Gita will speak. Likewise, let them also speak and take the class. Actually, I am from management background. So what we do in the class is, classroom should not be something like where the teacher speaks only, give the lectures. Let the student teach us. Let us, we give the point, we give the topic. And as a student of management, the students need to know how to lead in the classroom, how to lead in the board meeting, how to make presentations. So that way, if they have these tasks of making presentation in the class, definitely these online classes will be very effective.
Okay.
This is my point. I don't know whether you agree with my point or not. Teacher,
I follow the same strategy, but
I think this is the best.
okay.
I think this is the best. This is my personal experience.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. हाँ अमित जी, आप
Yes,
आगे
sir.
ले लो.
Thank you so much, sir.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
We can understand that how much you are busy being a finance officer.
No, I am being called by the registrar now. I have to go to the registrar's room.
But still, you had given us time and delivered a very nice speech and interacted with the participants. So, sir, we are so thankful for your kind consent, delivering the lectures and always supporting to us. We are so thankful, despite your very busy schedule you had given us to time. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, thank you. मिलेंगे अमित जी.